many of your questions and comments I can answer before they have finished washing my car. So these are all private messages, so I'm not really revealing any names, but they're questions that I think are useful to answer for the people. Hey Charlie, love the work that you do, and your videos are always so helpful and informative. I just wanted to ask you a question, if that's okay. My partner and I are in the process of looking for a house. We put an offer on one which was 5% below asking, roughly 20k. So that means there's a roughly 400 grand property, which was initially rejected. However, we were the only interested party to do so, so the only offer. The sellers have now come back and said they want to proceed with that offer. Should we wait a little longer to buy, or hope that there's leverage from the valuation or solicitors? It sounds like what he's actually saying is we're not comfortable with the price we offered because we're the only one they've accepted it. We want it to be lower. He goes on to say, we're not looking to move in the next 10 to 15 years or so. There's no way that would make sense with current property prices, the way things will go. And we have a circa 20 to 25% deposit. So, if your scenario is that you have an offer accepted and your reaction to it is, oh no, I'm not sure we want to pay that much for that property anymore, then that is your gut instinct telling you that you're probably overpaying. So, first of all, I'm not recommending what you should or shouldn't do. I'm letting you know what you're able to do. You can just change your mind and go, I'm really sorry, we've changed our mind. We don't want to proceed anymore. So you can back out. An offer being accepted in England or Wales does not mean that you're committed. And frequently, this is like, of course, no one likes it. It's very frustrating for a seller when an offer is made, the seller accepts the offer, and then you go, oh, actually, we've changed our mind. But it's human nature and it happens, so you have to deal with it. And if you've got that feeling, so to that person, I would say, it sounds to me like you're now uncomfortable with how much you're offering. Work out what your actual maximum comfortable price for that property is. Work out what the price that if they did accept it, you'd say, okay, cool. And you're not looking to try and see if you can chip it because of the valuation or because of something that comes in the survey. It's just a price that you're comfortable with. And go back and say, look, we're really sorry. Now you've accepted our offer. It's made us feel uncomfortable. And we've realized that that's too high for us. So we want to reduce our offer to this. This is the maximum price that we're comfortable offering. But be aware that they may reject it and you may lose out on the deal. And if in fact it was the case that actually you are prepared to pay the initial amount you offered and you wouldn't want to lose it by renegotiating, then don't renegotiate. But if you are uncomfortable with the offer that you've had accepted, then you have to go, what is the comfortable price, and communicate it to them and say, we understand that if you don't accept that price, and we'll walk away, but hopefully that's the price we want to accept. So that's question number one. Question number two. Hi Charlie, can I ask you a property buying question? I put an offer on a property. The vendor said if they were to accept my offer, they would only take the property off the market after a survey had been done. Are they accepting my offer and hoping for a better offer? Is this normal or fair behavior? I backed out. It made the offer pointless to me. Right. No. It's quite common, and let me talk you through the mindset of the seller. I don't think you should have backed out. I think that was premature. It doesn't mean that they're just trying to get a higher offer. What it means is this: a lot of sellers have had their time wasted by people who buy, have an offer accepted, and then later on go, oh, I actually don't want to go through with it. And so they don't want to risk that happening where they take it off the market, waiting for you, and then you change your mind. And because surveys are often the reason that people have their mind changed, what they're saying is, look, we're going to leave it we're accepting your offer. We're going to leave it on the market. I'm assuming as sold subject to contract, until the surveys come back and you confirm you're happy with the survey, at which point we'll take it off the market. That is not an unreasonable thing for a seller to do. What they're saying is, we're worried that you're going to try and renegotiate, and we don't want to be left dangling in the wind when the survey comes in with a problem. It also suggests that maybe the sellers know that the survey might be going to throw something up. So if I was the buyer, I would be okay. It wouldn't make me back out. So I wouldn't in that scenario back out. it doesn't mean that they're looking for a higher offer. I don't think that's a safe assumption to make. Okay, so to that person, I would say backing out was probably a bit hasty, a bit premature, and you should reconsider it. And the other thing they're doing is they're trying to persuade you to get your survey done quickly. That's also a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Right, third question. Hi Charlie, I'm looking at acquiring, it's burning up in here, it's hot. I'm looking at acquiring an investment property, something I could refurb / extend and sell on in a few years' time when hopefully the housing market is in a better place than currently. I just wondered, with the current climate and house prices predicted to fall further, if it's worth waiting a bit longer or if it's prudent to be making offers considerably lower than their asking price. Keep the posts coming, best regards. So, what this person hasn't said is whether or not they're actually planning to live in it while they do the work. So if this question is because you're an investor looking to sort of do it up and flip it, I don't have an answer for you. It's purely an investment and you have to make the decision based on each property individually and your perception of the market for those properties in that area. But if you're talking about buying something to move in, do it up while you're living in it, that's for people who've got the time and the knowledge of how to do that. That's not a bad idea. If you've got the time and the skills and the desire to do that. So it's not a question of whether it's a good time or what percentage under offer. It's a question of being out there and seeing if you can find a suitable property that needs doing up and that you'd enjoy living there. The approach you want to have is this, is if I were to move into this house, do it up, and then I can't sell it, would I mind? Or would I still be happy living here? And if the answer is you still be happy living there, do it anyway. If you're talking about living to home. If you're only doing it for the financial upside, I can't advise you. It's a mistake to buy a home and also try to use it to flip it and make profit. But if you're planning to live in it and you're going to be happy living there if you can't sell it, I mean, no one can predict what the market for that property that you've done up is going to be. I don't know how well you're going to do it up or not do it up. So you've got to ask yourself the question with each individual property, would I be happy living here after I've done it up if I can't sell it? And if the answer is yes, buy it, do it up anyway. Next question. Charlie, genuine question. Do estate agents have to prove they sent your offer to the seller? And how could a buyer get proof the agents sent your offer to the seller? I think this could be a major issue as offers under a lot of agents are reluctant to pass on, probably, ? So, this is a non-issue, okay? Because the only circumstances under which an agent would ever want to not send your offer to a seller is, I can't actually think of one, all right? Because every offer, even if it's not the highest one, helps an agent towards a sale of that property, because even if it's a low offer, it helps the agent have a conversation with the seller about lowering their price. A lot of buyers tend to think when the agent comes back and says, I'm sorry, the seller's rejected your offer. Oh, you didn't give it to them. It's not the case, guys. It just isn't the case. It doesn't make any sense for an agent not to sell it. So, I mean, what you can do is you can, first of all, agents are, provided you put your offer in writing and it's for a precise amount and the terms of your offer are contained in and this is why I say always make your offer by email. The agents are legally bound to communicate that offer to the seller. All right, they're legally required to do so. So I honestly can't think. The only scenario I can think of where they might decide to break the law by not sending your offer on is if they don't think your offer is genuine and funded, and if they think, rightly or wrongly, if they think you're a total time waster that couldn't buy the property even if the offer was accepted. That's the only scenario I can think of. There's no other scenario. You know, some people think, oh, well, doesn't the agent worry that your offer is going to make them look bad because they overvalued? Even in that scenario, even if an agent's overvalued, they're not more worried about their credibility than they are about earning a fee. Right? There's no point in having a property in the market that they can't sell. It just wastes time and they don't earn any money from it. So I genuinely don't think it's a real offer. If you ask what you can say to the agent if you're concerned about whether they put the offer on or not is ask the agent by email, can you please confirm that you have passed your offer on to the seller? Okay, and ask them for an email, right? And if after they email you back, if you're still in any doubt at all, I mean, again, it just never happens, guys. It never happens. It's it's normally because your offer has been rejected if they're telling you that, right? But if you get to the point where the agent has confirmed that they forwarded your email offer to the client and the client has received your offer and rejected it, then the last thing you can do, if you really feel you must, is go and put a handwritten note through the door of the seller to say, look, the agent tells me that they're giving you my offer, but I don't believe them. So I'm just making sure to check. I mean, you can do that, I suppose, but you're not going to do yourself any favors with the agent if you can't buy that property and that there are other ones, right? If anyone can prove that that's ever happened, I'd love to hear about it, because in real life, I don't think it happens. I think it's a story a lot of buyers tell themselves to explain why, in their mind, the agent's telling the offer's been rejected. All right, so I could be wrong on that one. That's just my view, my experience. I have never ever heard of a situation where an agent is actually incentivized or motivated in any sense to not forward a genuine offer to a client. Maybe it happens, I don't know. Not that I know of. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap that up, call it a day, and I'll see you on the next one. I hope that's